Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Melissa Kratt, and I just kind of wanted to sit down and chat. I kind of wanted to talk about like moving and just like moving around a lot when you're young and just like how it affects you and like how hard it is. I know so many kids go through this, and basically for me, I know that I didn't have anyone that really related and could be like, hey, this is like what I went through, and like, oh my god, I went through the same thing and this and this and that. But I did go through it, so I kind of want to like be that voice. Like, I was born in California and I moved to Arizona when I was 9. My mom couldn't find a job in California because it was during like the, am I a beauty guru yet? Because it was like during the recession. So we moved to Arizona near my grandma, and we lived there till I was 15. And then I moved to Michigan. Moved to Michigan because my mom worked for Chrysler and their headquarters were in Michigan, and so we moved. And then I obviously moved to Florida for college. Hello, when I was 18. So I have moved to 4 different states, and I am 19 years old. So that's like a lot, and it is a lot to process, and it's a lot to go through. So when I first moved, when I moved from California to Arizona, my experience with that, it was like sad that I was moving, but I was mostly just like, okay, whatever. Like it wasn't a big deal. Like I was 9 years old. I was like, okay, like obviously I wasn't the most gung-ho about moving, but I wasn't upset about it. I was like, okay, like this is what's happening. Let's go. And when I got to Arizona, the school that I went to for 4th grade, it was not the greatest school. It kind of did not help with my education, but I didn't really make any friends that year for the most part, and so it just wasn't really the greatest year for me. I was just kind of like, oh, this isn't awesome, whatever. And then 5th and 6th grade, I ended up transferring to a different school, which was a lot better, and I enjoyed that school a lot more, and it was just more advanced and more what I needed. I made friends, but it's really hard. When I was in Arizona, besides for that first year, I always lived out of my school district. So, like during those 2 years, my grandma would drive me to school, and then eventually 7th and 8th grade, my mom did. But it was really hard because everyone lived so far away, and it just like didn't really happen. Like I didn't hang out with people outside of school or do anything, and that like really hurt me, like in the efforts of making friends. I like made friends in 5th and 6th grade, but nothing super crazy. I was still dancing, and I have to say that my dance friends through my years there were probably closer than my school friends, because those were the people that I was around all the time. We'd already be at the dance studio all the time, and so it was just easier to hang out with them. And that was another thing, like I did dance so much that like I just didn't hang out with other people. 7th and 8th grade, I still just mostly danced. But then 9th grade, I just decided to quit dance, and I decided to be a cheerleader, which it turned out I absolutely hated cheer. I loved cheering at games, like loved it. And I loved doing the dance parts because there would always be like little dances, and I loved that. But I was not a fan of tumbling, stunting. That's like most of cheer. I just didn't enjoy that. I wasn't having a good time with it. I ended up not quitting, but it was like this whole thing where I didn't do competitions when I was supposed to, and so I didn't do the competitions, but I still was cheering at games. It was very weird. It wasn't the best. But yeah, so I mean, that year was a lot different, but I still didn't really like hang out with people because I was still like outside of my school area. And then I have to say, being in Arizona, like from California to Arizona, was not my hardest point of moving. I'd have to say my hardest point of moving was from Arizona to Michigan. And that was just something that was so hard for me because I was 15. And when you're 15, you're just like at that age where you want to have your established friend groups. You're in high school. You want to like finish out high school with the same people. You want to just be around the same people. Like going to a new place and having to meet all new people and make all new friends is just so hard at that age. And so when I moved to Michigan, well, first of all, I didn't know anyone. I joined the dance team, which that didn't really help me make friends. Nothing against any of them, but like, when I started school, I didn't have anyone. I remember after the first week, I was bawling my eyes out because I was like, I have no friends. I have no one to talk to. Like, I don't even know people. Because it's one thing, like, I've always been that person that, like, knows everyone. And whether or not I have, like, good friends or something, that's, like, a different story. But at least you have people that you know. And you can walk around anywhere and be like, girl, I know you. Like, hi. Or you can walk into any one of your class, you're like, okay, I know like 10 of these people at least. Like, it was just one of those things where you knew most of the people, so it didn't even matter, and then you could meet others through them. But when I moved to Michigan, I didn't have that, so I was just kind of like going and trying, and I was very insecure and very awkward, and I just didn't know how to really make friends correctly. I think that I'm a lot better now. Still don't have friends. But we are a lot better with talking to people, and I'm a lot more confident and know how to make conversation. I made like 2 good friends my first year. Obviously, I met many people throughout my sophomore year, but like 2 good friends, and I only talk to one of them now. I mean, I'm not really sure what happened with the other one. I have my inclinations. I did have people to hang out with if I really wanted to. Junior year was kind of the same as sophomore year. Like, I was still kind of like... Then senior year, I decided to put my life in my own hands, lose weight, like, just focus on myself. And that's when a lot of people stopped talking to me that I talked to before. And I get it. There was a lot about that. From the outside, it looks like, oh, she made an effort to lose weight and become healthier, and there was so much that went into that. So much just insanity. And I'm not saying that I'm not happy I did it, because I'm so grateful that I did. But it's still affecting me to this day, and that was 3 years ago, so hello. And then senior year, I met so many people that I'm like, wow, if I would have like been who I was then, like with my personality and just who I was, it would have been better throughout the whole experience. But I just I never found my place. I think that's kind of what it boils down to. I never found my place in Michigan with those people, and that's okay. It was one of the reasons why I wanted to leave again. I have a really bad problem of running away from my problems. I seem to think I can go somewhere else, and by starting again, I will magically have the life I want. I've come to the realization while in college that you can't do that. It is impossible to run away from yourself and your problems, and you have to kind of just do it and survive. When I moved from Arizona to Michigan, I actually was like super excited. It wasn't until I got there that I was very upset over it, and I wish that we didn't move. But when originally I was like, I'm so ready for this because I'm going to get a fresh start. It's going to be so cool. Everyone's going to love me. That's not how it works. You have to love yourself first, and you have to be just a chill person. I don't even know how to explain that. It's like, you can't just expect that if no one loves you the way you were at one place, that by going to a new place, everyone's going to love you. It's impossible to do that. And then moving to college was different in the sense of like, obviously I knew what I was walking into. I knew that like, this is a new thing. Obviously I'm not going to know anyone, whatever. Like, I knew walking into it, like, this is what's happening because I'd gone through it before. And because of that, coming to college wasn't as hard in that aspect, but it was hard in others because it was definitely a big culture shock for me. I was a very innocent child, just like all growing up, all everything. And by innocent, I'm not just being like, oh, like you haven't like done anything with a boy, you never like, yeah, that's all true, but like innocent to the extent, but like not knowing anything and just kind of going through just living in your own world and just being in your head and not knowing how the real world was. To me, when I came to college and saw the college life, I literally thought that all that stuff was just on TV, that it wasn't real, that people didn't do those things. And so it was such a big, like, that it really was crazy for me. But obviously I've grown and I'm here. Sometimes you do feel like you just want a new chapter of your life, but I feel like there are times and places for it. I think that you have to go into something knowing that you're not running away from your problems. You're not doing it because you're trying to get away from something. You're doing it because you genuinely know it's the best for you. It's so hard to know whether you are doing something because you're trying to get away or if you are doing something for the right reasons. I think that you can tell the difference. I think if you're like, okay, I want to do this because I want to do this, these are my plans, this is what I'm going to do, then great. But it's hard when you don't know if that's the case. I think that my time here has really, it's been hard. It's definitely been a crazy, wild ride. I've learned so much about myself and I've grown so much into myself and just have decided to be who I am and not apologize for it. Like, people can take it or leave it. This year I've just kind of been doing me and doing myself, and as great as it feels on the inside for me, I feel like I need people and I feel so alone. If I could be myself and be who I am, yet have people around me that like support me and love me and accept me, that is all I ask for. But yeah, I think I rambled onto other things besides just talking about the issues with moving, but I do think, I understand that it's necessary. I do. I know that it has to happen sometimes. I understand. But I just really wish that it wouldn't happen when you're older. I think it's very easy to do when you're young. But if you've already been a year in high school and you are like trying to move schools in the middle of high school, it is so hard. Now, believe me when I say I literally thought that it was going to be like High School Musical, and that suddenly I'd find this super hot guy and everyone would just love me and hello. Not like that. Spoiler alert. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a very real, raw, just little chat with me. And I hope it helps someone out there, because honestly, I wish someone did this for me. So if anyone, like, let me know. Like, honestly, I would really love that. If just one person was like, wow, you helped me so much. That's all I ask for. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. That's it for today. So if you like this, like and subscribe. Give me some ideas of different things to film that you guys would want to see, because hello, I love ideas that come from anyone else's brain but mine, because coming up with things is very difficult, let me tell you. But yeah, so I'll see you guys next time.